Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the Oneill Superfreak range for summer 2015. So when we say summer in the UK, we're talking about 3-2 thickness of wetsuit. So you've got 3mm on the lower body and 2mm on the upper body and around the arms when you need a bit more flexibility. That's typically the sort of to match the water temperature in the UK summer, which is usually getting up to about maximum about sort of 19 degrees. This suit will be able to use from sort of like 14 degrees upwards, really, depending on how sort of cold the air temperature is. But that's typically what we call a summer suit in the UK. And this is the Superfreak, so this sits in the middle of the Oneill range, and it's their cheapest chest entry wetsuit. Okay, so specifically as a value chest entry wetsuit for winter and for summer, this particular suit, as I say, geared up more for summer in the UK. 3-2 comes in the ladies, men's and kids as well. These are just the men's and the ladies at the moment. Basically exactly the same wetsuit, just specifically built for the ladies' shape or for the men's shape, and then the colour to match as well. Incidentally, the colour sort of scheme with the ladies is quite a lot different. You've got this asymmetrical kind of design around the leg there. And this particular suit in the winter just gone, so winter 2014 to 2015, which is pretty much our top selling ladies wetsuit, especially for chest hip. I think people sort of clicked in terms of the look of the suit, but also in terms of the value and functions and features. Just a really good suit for the money. So grabbing the suit, in terms of the difference between this and the last year, it really isn't too much different. It just comes down to the sort of the zip system, which I'll explain to you in a second. So chest entry versus back entry. This suit is particularly a chest entry, so people that like the chest entry suits, typically the reason is there's no zip on the back, which creates a bit more flexibility through the back of the suit because there's no zip interrupting the movement of the wetsuit. Okay, and also because there's an unbroken seal around the neck, there's no zip breaking through the back here, it creates a better seal and bond with your neck, so less prone to flush-throughs and letting in water. Downsides, a bit harder to get in and out of, but not too bad once you get the hang of it, but they can be a bit of a pig to get on and off, especially if you've got a bit of a bigger frame. Okay, so the suit itself is 100% made of Ultraflex. There's a few different types of neoprene within the Oneill range. You've got their standard BTN neoprene, which is less movement, less sort of flexible and less pliable, which is used on the entry-level wetsuits such as the Oneill Reactor. As you move up through the range, you get the Ultraflex neoprene, which this suit is made of, which has more air within the rubber, creating more stretch through the suit, and also more heat retention properties to keep you a little bit warmer as well. So it's definitely sort of worth forking out for that Ultraflex neoprene the whole way through the wetsuit, 100% the whole way through. And that's just changed in the last couple of years. Previously you had a mix of neoprene, now it's 100% Ultraflex. And then once you pay a little bit more, you get what they call the Techno Butter neoprene, which is even more lightweight and sort of a quicker drying neoprene, more lightweight and less absorbent. But this is the Ultraflex, which is really good quality neoprene. All of the seams are strategically placed throughout the wetsuit. You get these long hip panels running through here. You get sort of broken panels underneath the arm to promote more flexibility and have less seams. Any seams that you do get are strategically curved and bent to match the contours of the human body and make sure that there's no restriction through the wetsuit at all. So it's all about flexibility, especially within a summer wetsuit. You get a smooth skin panel on the front of the suit as well, which is a specially treated piece of neoprene. It's basically the crust of a block of neoprene when they make it, and this particular sort of crust is used to keep out wind on the wetsuit. It's a little bit denser, less absorbent, and it's good at keeping out the wind. You get that around there, and you get it on the chest, and you get it around the back, around your kidneys, where it's important to retain heat and keep you nice and warm. Okay, further down you get the Duraflex knee pads, which is a standard knee-powered crypto knee pad used by pretty much most of the companies these days. Very hard wearing, very robust, so if you're using your knee to duck dive, or if you're getting up on your knee when you're SUPing, obviously it will be prone to wearing through, so that's a really good material to stop that happening. As I said before, the suit is glue and blind stitched, which means that all of the seams are sealed completely. Stops any water getting in through the suit, through the seams, and you would expect that in a suit of sort of anything over about £100. And basically what they do is they stitch the suit halfway through on the outside, and they glue it on the inside to create a perfect seal, stop any water coming through, and then you get all of the joints of the wetsuit are then taped and double stitched just to make sure that they don't pull apart, and the suit is going to last you longer. With the wetsuits with Oneill range, you get a year's warranty typically as well. So, and they're really good at repairing them. Basically, we send them off to Oneill and they take care of it. But yeah, you do get a warranty on all the sort of stitching of the wetsuit. So, the entry of the suit then. This one is a chest entry suit. Okay, and it's nice and straightforward. So the difference with the last year one, they used to have a flap of neoprene which went over the top, which was the idea was to kind of stop water getting in through the zip, but realistically it doesn't do anything. And as long as the zip is properly made and a properly treated zip, then that's not going to happen anyway. So they're just taking that away and exposed the zip, and I think it looks kind of cool to have the zip exposed like that. So the chest entry just pulls across the front here. You've got a plastic zip. A plastic sort of teeth on it, which is specially coated to stop water coming through. Doesn't really matter anyway. You've got a fastening toggle on the side here as well, just to pull it tight. That is essentially what creates the seal. The neoprene panel, or the chest panel, goes up and over the suit. It's sewn onto the back with a small dip in here and a drain hole at the bottom here to let any water out that does sort of flush into the chest piece. The inside of the collar is a smooth skin material, which creates a good bond with your neck, stops it moving around and flushing water, and is also a lot more comfortable than having the lycra against your neck, and it creates less rash. So that comes up and over the top. The inside of the wetsuit is actually brought up nice and high, so as this pulls over the top and expands and pushes out with your chest, it pushes against each other and creates a perfect seal, so you don't get any water flushing in through the side. Any water that does is drained out through the drain hole, as I said before. 2 pieces of neoprene around the back allows you to pull it nice and wide and open, and essentially that's how you get in. And it's nice and straightforward really. You just kind of reach inside and pull it inside out, so it's like a pair of trousers. Slip it up and over your body, pull it on, up and over your body, and then one arm at a time. Make it sound easy, can be a bit tricky, especially if you're a bigger chap. But having said that, once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. It's worth opening up the suit though, so you can see inside. This is the chest panel, and this is the back panel. And basically what that is a Fireflex or a firewall material. And essentially what that is a thermal lining, much like thermal underwear. Basically the idea being is a type of woven, non-absorbent fabric will trap heat as it leaves your body, rather than being lost through the wetsuit and you getting colder. The idea being that this material will trap that warm air in the little soft contours and bubbles and bobs of the material itself, and then use that hot air as it leaves you to insulate you. Okay, get that around the front and around the kidneys, and that does make a significant difference in terms of keeping you warmer, and it dries very quickly as well. Okay, so that's the firewall material basically. Some suits you get more of that the whole way through, some of it might be furrier, essentially it's doing the same thing. The inside of the suit, 100% Ultraflex, it's not very interesting, just black material the whole way through. Not taped or anything, apart from the critical areas, just glued and blind stitched. So, the idea being that it's an affordable chest entry wetsuit. You get this for men, women and kids, and it's one of our top sellers every year. Really nice looking wetsuit, and perfect for summer. You don't have to spend a fortune, but it's going to keep you warm, it's going to be easy to get on and off, and it's going to feel great and nice and flexible. So for anyone that's looking for a chest entry wetsuit without spending a fortune, definitely a recommendation.